Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This your big only sis Connor Nevermelt with yet another podcast. This, of course, is the Anime Coloseum, and I do apologize for not having a sketch ready. Honestly, I was kind of busy this week, so yeah. However, I am here with my host, and it's also glad to see that you could make it this time around, Silhouette.
Wait, what?
No, I was saying I was
She
glad
was
that you could,
here.
man, we are so professional. But, no, I was saying it's great to, have you, this time around since you weren't here last time.
Oh. I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I overslept.
Yes.
My bad.
Yes, well, thankfully you didn't oversleep this time, so, but anywho, first let's do what we normally do with the introductions. I am Kara Nevermelt, aka the most thickest and bestest ice oni, of all time. And these are my glorious hosts, everyone.
Hello, Erica Ironblood here. I am currently in not Europe, not medieval Europe, and yeah, I could be your angel, but I'd rather be your devil.
Abyssal.
Hello, everyone. I am Abyssal Tech. I am your friendly neighborhood tech support, and I have lost my legs. Let me know if you see them.
And we have, of course, Silhouette.
Howdy. I'm a cowboy.
Yes, you are.
Now, with all that being said and done, let us start off with, of course, our usual shindig of anime of the day. And this anime of the day you should be watching is... What?
The anime of the day you should be watching, and I highly recommend it, is Mare,
And
or otherwise known as Martian Awakens Romance.
Also, hi, Spirit. Now then.
I actually used to love watching this when it was on Toonami, but then it just disappeared off of Toonami.
I
Yeah.
think I know what this is, but Silhouette, please tell us, what is the shindig?
Well, it is basically the story of Ganta, who is very fascinated with fantasy stories and stuff. And later on, he gets his wish to actually go to a different world, where he is super strong, and also acquires a weapon that can change forms and stuff.
It's a weaponized Kingdama toy.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so... can you at least tell me the gimmick here? Because it does look familiar. But, what is the, the weapons and stuff?
There's a magical items called arms. That
They do different things. They're like
yeah.
they're like basically like accessories, basically.
Wait, okay, if I'm not mistaken, the pink-haired girl, isn't her name Dorothy, and she can summon this big-ass Cerberus or whatever?
Yeah. Her name is Dorothy, and yes,
Yeah,
her
the whole,
dog.
the whole Wizard of, okay, so I did see this. It was, I wouldn't say a fever dream per se, but, I've seen, 2 episodes, and like Erica said, it just up and disappeared, kinda went to go get
It's
that
kind of
milk.
like it's kind of like Zatch Bell, where it aired on Toonami and abruptly just stopped airing on Toonami, and a lot of people are like, did this thing actually exist?
Oh, no, with Zatch Bell, there was at least a good 15 episodes. With this,
15, I think.
Oh, well, with this, I
think they were in the middle of an arc where this one Momoto is like, I have all of these petrified Momoto from 1,000 years ago, and I am going to bring them back to life in order to conquer the world.
Yeah, he had like
And
that.
also,
He had that freezer thing going on too, like his would point at you and explode and shit, if I'm not mistaken.
so with Zachu Bell, there are these creatures from another dimension called Momoto. And there's this huge battle royale where they have to fight and destroy each other's spell books. And the last one standing becomes the new king of the Momoto. So every Momoto has like a spell book, and they need to find the special human that can read the spell book and utilize all the spells that are in the spell book in order to activate the Momoto's special powers.
Yeah, I mean, now back on track though. This right here, again, I think I
Mayor.
only seen 2 episodes.
Isn't there a guy who was like,
disappeared.
it was like the main villain was like the king of like a chessboard themed villain group?
I think, well, to be fair, I know there's
And he originally owned Babo, which is the kendama toy, but then someone basically put a curse or something and gave Babo amnesia. And the main kid guy is like the only one who can actually use Babo because it's so fucking heavy.
and also,
But because
you know, main character.
apparently in the world of Mare, the gravity is like really light compared to Earth's. So he's essentially superhuman.
Basically, the humans that come here are super strong.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, to be fair, this is I would spell. Again, I liked what I saw, but it sadly, like Erica stated, it disappeared because, of course, it did. But if there's ever a chance, we should probably give it a rewatch because, again, it does deserve it. And it was pretty interesting. all
Probably
things
gonna
considered.
be mostly in Japanese.
I mean, that's fine by
Yeah.
me. But anywho,
Okay.
that being said, let us continue on with the Isekai. And we turn to... hold on.
But what
Uh,
is an
don't
isekai? What is it made of? What does it smell like?
Yes, we turn
Well,
to...
it has isekai has a slight berry flavor, almost like an aftertaste, and which is weird because it crunches like a nut. Anyway,
Very nice
Yes.
crunch. Very delicious.
Yes.
so the whole premise of isekai is another world. Your characters
Literally is what isekai means. Is another
Yes.
world.
So your main character or your protagonist is transported to another world where the adventures take place and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept for this, well, the actual term isekai only really entered the language pretty recently. The concept has been around for a long time.
Yeah. Like
Mhm.
Wizard
Well,
of Oz, Alice in Wonderland,
Alice in Wonderland.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Mhm. Yes, it's gone. The whole concept has gone back hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, it's
So-
kind of like all over the world. Like Erica said, Alice in
Would
Wonderland.
the Time Machine be technically considered an isekai?
I would say no.
I would not call that because it's the same world. You're just looking at it at different time periods.
Yeah. 'Cause
One of the more recent trends in isekai is the game world. It's basically the world the characters gets transported to operates on some kind of game logic, mostly with RPGs.
mhm.
Yeah, 'cause
And the-
most of the time, isekais take place in a fantasy type setting, like fantasy Europe.
Yes, but one of the first iterations of that concept was back in 1986 with Super Mario Brothers: The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
Ooh, nice. And yes, in technicality, that would be an isekai. And also, like Erica stated, it's been around for, Alice in Wonderland, my personal favorite stories I've always referenced in
Yeah.
not just campaigns, but my works. But also, Wizard of Oz, and there's even stories, not just with European, but
Narnia.
elsewhere. Yeah,
Mhm.
Narnia, And to be fair, to kind of get the honorary mention, there's also American isekai, if you will, such as Amphibia, Star vs. the
Technically,
Forces
Wizard of
Evil.
Oz is an American isekai.
Oh, well, true. And you also have,
It was Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland's British.
Oh, yeah, true.
But yes.
And along that note, Peter Pan actually technically counts as an isekai.
Oh yeah, the creepy guy kidnaps children, and when they become of age, he kills them.
But yeah,
Captain Hook is
That
As
actually
one
perfect.
does.
Yeah, that is the actual original premise of Peter Pan. That's the reason why you never grow up in Neverland, is because right before you grow up, Peter Pan fucking kills you. The only one who managed to get away is Captain Hook.
and
That was the original premise?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you gotta
Yeah,
remember, Disney loved to justify, if you will.
They
you know,
basically
stories.
dumbed it down to it so that they were as inoffensive as possible, at least for the time period.
I mean, remember, this is the same company that made you think hyenas and lions would chill with each other.
Or basically made you think that Hera was a loving mother.
Oh, and don't forget Zeus.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
Zeus look like he's a family man. Like, no.
A fun dad who's like, "Hey son, why don't we go throw the football around?"
Oh, and also to
And by the football, he means his penis.
and also to the two, the Amazing Digital Circus, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and
Oh, technically Tron would be considered an isekai as well.
and also
that be?
The Outhouse too. Again, the isekai has been not just with anime, but also again all over the world. But today we are all going to talk about our favorite, isekai. However, though, episode, is there anything?
Oh, I
else you
wanna make one thing clear. The reason that there is such a huge oversaturation of isekai, especially in anime, is because most isekai start out as light novels, and you don't really have to have a talent at drawing in order to create a light novel. So a lot of people write light novels, and because isekai is a very easy story to write, they start writing isekai, and that's how you get a huge saturation of isekai light novels, which if they're good enough, they get a manga adaptation, and then or just they get straight to an anime adaptation.
Yes.
But though,
Some of the more recent popular ones include Digimon Adventure, which we've all seen Digimon. We love Digimon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And the infamous or famous, depending on how you like it, Sword Art Online. Sword Online was where the world. Sword Art Online and Digimon are where the world the characters are transported to is virtual, and they're not really there of their own free will. So.
And now, is that all you have for the education segment episode before we get to the main segment?
Yes, that'll be enough for now. I can put away my smartass hat.
Special mention to other shows besides SEO, but Dot Hack and Log Horizon, they also do that similar thing too.
Oh, also Spirited Away.
Why the heck? Oh yeah, Spirited Away. The Boy and the Heron.
But with that being said, we should also thank Truckun, for he helps everyone go into the isekai fantasy. Where would all the anime protagonists
Not all isekai.
True,
Yes,
before modern day. And also, Abyssal wanted me to do this joke, so ta-da!
Okay.
But it is a thing.
It's enough of a thing with the truck hitting the character to send them to the other world, that it actually has made it into the Wikipedia entry for Isekai.
Nice, nice.
Actually, there was like this mini webcomic, where someone's like calls Truck-kun and they're like, "We need you to send us a hero," and Truck-kun tries to run someone over, but they're apparently incredibly durable, and Truck-kun ends up being sent to the other world, and he's like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, that sounds like a good one.
But anywho, besides that joke out of the way, now, Abyssal, it's time for you to put your smart-ass hat back on and educate us on...
Villainous level 99. So, this is a subset of the Otome Isekai, where the character, your protagonist, is basically reincarnated or possesses the villainous in an Otome game, where Otome games, your protagonist is usually a girl, and she normally has to choose between several male love interests. One of the love interests is typically already taken by the villainess, who sees the female protagonist's arrival as a threat, and she basically is mean and bullies. Well, in Villainous level 99, the girl in question reincarnates to the villainess, who is also the secret hidden boss. And she decides that she doesn't want any of that being a villainous part. You know, she's not a mean person. She just wants to kind of chill. So she figures, before the events of the game actually start, she'll basically take advantage of the fact that nobody really cares about her to go dungeon crawling as a kid and train a bit. And only to discover that at the start of the school year that she's overdone it by just a smidge. About 98 levels of smidge. So, this also goes into one of the main character is overpowered tropes, where the main character, that you also get in Isekai, where the main character is dramatically stronger via some reason than everyone else. But I think this one does it really well, because in her case, the whole "I'm overpowered" actually has a lot of social disadvantages, because everyone thinks she's kind of evil. It doesn't help that her special abilities are all based around creepy dark magic stuff. So, yes. But
Nice.
it's a nice little comedy series. I recommend it.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay then, let us go to the third one, well, technically second, but...
Yojo Senki, or Saga of Tanya the Evil, if you have to be anal about it.
Oh
About
my.
the English version. So Yojo Senki directly translates to Military Chronicles of a Little Girl, but I guess the people in charge of localization and dubbing thought that that was misleading, despite the fact that being misleading is like Tanya's entire MO, or at least how she goes around doing things. So they said, called it Saga of Tanya the Evil, even though Tanya is not evil.
Yeah, I mean, yes, because killing communists is God's work.
Exactly. They're not
Anyway,
people.
so Tanya.
I think the evil part actually comes from a line from one of the enemy soldiers.
Yeah, it's more like from a certain point of view. But for the most part, she's trying to basically get placed in a safe office level position where she has very little to no chance of accidentally getting killed. But unfortunately,
Problem is, for her, God is, literally against her.
Actually, I think in at least the manga, it's not, Being X isn't actually God, but a very powerful angel who is just pretending to be God. I don't know exactly where I read that.
It's
yeah,
there's There's like different interpretations from the light novel to the manga and the
but
anime.
basically, Tanya originally was a 30-year-old Japanese salaryman who basically worked in human resources. Essentially, he was the guy who informed people, hey, you are not doing your job efficiently. You are essentially a detriment to this company. We're going to have to let you go. I'm sorry.
Middle management, the most evil of managements.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the people he fired decided it was a good idea to push Tanya basically out in front of a moving bullet train.
As you do.
Yeah. Before Tanya was to be, bullet train marinara.
Or turn to Teki Teki.
Yeah. A creature, a being, appeared before her, freezing time and possessing various people, and saying, "I am God, and you are unfaithful. Actually, everyone is unfaithful. They have lost faith." And then Tanya's like, "I don't think you're God." And they're like, do you think I'm the devil? And like, no, I just think you're if you are God, you are incredibly incompetent. I think a better denomination would be being X. And then they have an argument about like what would cause you to believe in me, and basically he's like, well, most people have faith when they're put in dire situations, whether it's like extreme poverty or like life-threatening situations. And then being X is like, so if I put you in very increasingly dire situations, you will develop faith. And he's like, wait, what? And Tanya is reincarnated as
fun at all.
He is reincarnated as an orphan girl in an alternate version of pre-World War I Germany. And she eventually, so there's magic in this world, and Tanya has an insane amount of magic potential, like magic ability on her own. And so she's drafted into the war and just ends up just being put further and further into just increasingly dangerous situations. Eventually, she commands a battalion and stuff, and among other things. But most of it is she's trying to get a position in like an upper position where she's not on the front lines, where she cannot die, because being X essentially has said, if you die again, there's no resurrection. You're just done. So she's like, I am not going to let this thing that calls itself God win. I am going to survive through sheer spite. Yeah.
And it works.
And but yeah, a lot of the dangerous situations, because eventually being X gives other people like the power of God, but the main goal of being X is to push Tanya to the breaking point where she develops like faith and believes in God. So a lot of, because there's this one time when she basically being X like completely fucks up this girl named Mary Sue, and I haven't read the light novel. I've slowly started reading the manga, but basically Mary Sue is like about to kill Tanya, but then all of her god powers just are removed because being X is like, hey, hang on. This is not what I wanted. You're not supposed to kill her. You're supposed to make her believe.
But of course, Tanya has gone through life, her short second life, not making very many friends.
Second life.
Tanya has friends. I think Visa.
Well, I was referring to rhetorically, where her savage tactics and utter ruthlessness have pissed people off.
She definitely has a habit of finding loopholes in which technically she followed what the equivalent of the Geneva Convention is.
Yeah, but to her, they're a lot more closer to the Geneva Suggestions.
No, like she finds loopholes, like she's like, okay, we have to warn these people beforehand before we launch an attack. Hello, everyone. This is a warning. We are going to attack your weapons facility. And they're like, oh, that's a stupid kid. And then she's like, okay, we have done our duty in warning them ahead of time. Now we get to fire. It's like... oh my god.
Well, with that being said,
Yeah.
we should continue.
Anyway, yeah, there is often a bunch of dumbasses think that this is completely misconstrue Tanya, and it's very annoying to the point. It was so bad that I think a convention actually banned any cosplays of. Yeah, it's very fucking stupid because this is clearly the First World War, but unfortunately, people are very, very historically illiterate.
There was a quote from the author that said that this is basically a version of Germany if there was no room for the Nazis to get into power.
Yeah.
They believe that Tanya herself is a certain Wiener Schnitzel in history that was a very, very bad Wiener Schnitzel.
A very, very shitty painter.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she says flat out that, hey, we don't want to end up like these guys, so let's not go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anywho, let's continue, because we could be out here all day. But next, it's my turn. Okay. So, Inuyasha, classic that I'm pretty sure everyone knows, right next to Cowboy Bebop. And honestly, I can't help but think of that one
Brought
post.
to you by the same person who made Urusei Yatsura and Ranma 1/2.
Mm-hmm. But I can't help but think of that one post I seen a while back where it's like, you, when you're asleep on Saturday and you wake up at 3 a.m. and this is what you hear, and it's the Inuyasha outro. And like that's hilarious how true that is, because how many times have you woken up and it's I guess the end of an episode of Inuyasha. But anyway. So this right here is technically sorta kinda an isekai. Now I don't know if this is the first isekai in anime, but it's an isekai nonetheless. And I also
both The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland in an anime in the 70s, I believe.
Oh, in that case, original isekai, that way. But anywho, so first off, now another thing that I do remember is this is also what got a lot of girls into anime. Inuyasha, the very, hot, attractive husbando. And I remember when MySpace was relevant, there were a lot of girls thirsting for Sesshomaru, and, well, mostly him than Inuyasha, but that's beside the point. So, Kagome is basically a schoolgirl minding her own business. There's this ancient world. She goes down, just like Alice in Wonderland.
Doesn't your family, basically run a shrine?
Yeah. And so basically, just like in Alice in Wonderland, she goes down this world that's, technically like the rabbit hole, and she goes down to ancient Japan, where there are demons and yokai. There's this antagonist who's a pain in the ass to kill, because basically he can regenerate, aka everyone's most hated thing that bosses do in video games. No matter how many times you fuck his ass up, he always comes back again.
When I first saw Inuyasha, I kind of compared him a bit to Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Wait, what? Okay, you know what? We're just gonna continue. Okay, so
Voldemort basically comes back again and again every book.
Yes.
Even though they're Okay, we defeated him. Oh no, wait, he's back. We defeated him. Oh no, he's back.
Yeah, but
Oh
anywho,
no,
so
he's back, and he's like an actual person now.
yeah, so Kagome, finds this, half demon who's basically a half dog demon named Inuyasha. It's attached to a tree thanks to a, sacred jeweled arrow. And it turns out that she is basically the descendant of, Kikyu, I believe her name was, who used to date Inuyasha, but Naraku, the antagonist, decided to do bad guy shit. And it's, basically we get like a long time. I'm pretty sure a lot of that was filler. Where they finally, kiss, which I know for a fact every single female anime fan squealed like hell when they finally fucking kissed. But one other thing I want to throw out there is also the power system, or at least the boost anyway, is the Shikon Jewel Swords, the size of a mobile, I believe. But for some reason, this baby has enough to give 100 demons a piece of the Jewel Sword, because of course. And
I thought it was like the size of a plum or something.
It was a rather large marble.
I mean, to be fair, mobiles can be also. I mean, maybe a golf ball. Like.
Yeah, like a small plum. A plum.
Yeah. Either way, it was, decent size, and holy shit, was there a lot. And also, you get to see some interesting characters. Oh, by the way, a woman made this manga. And the reason I bring that
that's
up,
why I said from the same person who brought you Urusei Yatsura and Ranma 1/2.
Yeah. And
Yes, Rumiko Takahashi,
and one thing
the queen of filler anime.
Oh yes. But one thing I do want to throw out there though is that you got idiots who want to sit there and say fan service bad, blah blah blah, yakety snackety, and yet every time you have Moroku around females, the one question he always asks is, "Will you bear my children?" And also, he always touches Sango's butt. So the whole males only do, men, right? No. Both genders enjoy writing, spicy or lewd or comical lewd scenes.
Oh yeah.
But anywho. Also, you got some pretty interesting characters, except for Shippo. And
hey, Shippo's cute.
Shippo is so useless though. Like, he hasn't won one battle.
One second. Neo J, hi.
Oh, hi.
I was looking at the comments.
Jay, hi. Welcome.
Hello.
Salutations. How are you?
But anywho. Overall, it took a long-ass time for Inuyasha and Kagome to finally kiss, but though this is a romance anime that has action, adventure, and also do not question as to why when, Kagome goes back in time, there's demons, when she's, in, present day, there are no more demons, how that works. Don't ask, just nod and accept it. Now, with that and also, we do not speak about the supposed sequel. We never speak about that.
According to Kala, they've essentially Boruto'd it.
They Boruto'd it?
Yeah, Boruto.
Yes. But, anywho?
Although it has become canon that sexes were had, so. Which is, considering relationship development in a Rumiko Takahashi story is like anathema, yeah, we're all surprised by that.
But anywho, it's now your turn again, Silhouette.
So this is ReZero, or Starting Life from Zero. It's a series about the protagonist Subaru Natsuki, who gets teleported to another world, and finds that it's not exactly how he thought it would be. where he struggles with his own personal problems and whatever problems that he has to face as he tries to protect those he cares about, especially Amelia.
Mhm.
I've seen clips from this one. It is a both cute and brutal series.
I kind of had a hard time actually getting into like watching the first episode because it was just very, I don't know, it just was like, it was essentially Subaru just walking around the city and like getting into shenaniganry, but it wasn't like the interesting type of shenaniganry.
Well, the first episode is like, it's kind of getting you in a false sense of security at first before the
Okay.
real shit starts.
Before Subaru gets like skewered by some snake woman's tail and he's just vomiting blood and he's just like turned inside out, and then suddenly he gets reincarnated, but he's at level 0. And then there's a fucking witch lady who's like, who basically grants him this power, and apparently he can't tell anyone about this, or else undead attack him or something like that.
What is it?
Not exactly.
I am actually guessing about how the power works solely based on Isekai Quartet. Okay.
What is it? Someone explain.
Okay, well, basically how the power works is that Subaru basically has a save point, and every time he dies, he goes back to that save point, and the save point can change depending on how far he gets into, the event he's on and stuff like that. He can't tell anyone, because if he does, it might either A, kill him, or B, it'll kill everyone else around him.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Or in one case, in like one of the episodes, it somehow summons the Witch of Gluttony. Well, not Witch of Gluttony, Witch of Envy. Sorry, that's a different witch.
Always make sure not to confuse your witches.
Yeah.
Which witch is which? You better answer that correctly.
Oh, hey, that's an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I've watched, ReZero, and it is pretty good. It's got some good action. Of course, it's, of course, it has an adorable, trap that I place second place next to a Starfall on Femboy, so I want to, well, I'll let you guess how that sentence ends.
We don't want to guess.
Oh,
Don't
Felix.
make us guess again.
Felix. You're talking about Felix.
Mm-hmm.
And like Felix is like, I'm a boy, and Subaru's like, really? I don't know. I don't mind. Or something like that. Was I supposed to deter me? Oh my gosh. Feels fine.
One of the things I like about ReZero is just kind of just Subaru as a main character. Especially the world in ReZero. It's one of those isekais where it's basically like the protagonist is in a world that basically is like already in the midst of its own kind of events and stuff like that. But also the fact that he's basically a stranger and stuff like that. Like he doesn't know how to write the language of the of this world, and he can't read, he can't do any of these other things and stuff like that. He's basically in one of those situations where the protagonist just doesn't have anything to go off of, so they're kind of like, they're kind of screwed from the beginning.
Yeah.
And overall, though,
and screwed definitely seems to be a way to describe what happens to this poor fellow over the course of the series.
mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like he dies constantly, and also One thing I do want to throw out there, even though I don't know if it is a reference, but one of the I don't know what they were called again, but I believe there is a Monty Python reference with the rabbits that will devour you.
Oh yeah, there was that episode with the rabbits. Yeah, that was really brutal.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a Monty Python reference, or is it just a coincidence. All I do know is, goddamn, those rabbits.
I mean, it could be a reference to Monty Python. Who knows?
Hmm.
Alright, with that being said, let us continue. And, oh, okay, your turn.
Hmm. Oh, me? Or Abyssal? I think it's Abyssal.
Oh, wait.
No, that's Eric. That's not me. That's not me.
Yeah. Yeah, cause,
hold on, wait. Oh! Okay, so this is Bureaucrat to Businessman. No, not Businessman. Villainous. Bureaucrat to Villainous. Dad has been reincarnated.
Abyssal only has 2 that he wanted to do, so I figured he can, begin and, end the, session.
Okay.
Yeah, so, anyway,
so, I forget his name. But basically, this guy, the portrait is portraying, is a father. He is a bureaucrat. He works in the city's, for the city. He's just like a civil servant or something. And he is a huge otaku. His wife is an otaku. Apparently, they worked together to run a booth at Comic-Con once. They have a daughter who is a very avid otaku and is very into the otome video game Love and Beast. It is... We have discussed otome games. Basically, you play as... Hold on, let me actually bring... I'm sorry, Hold on, I forget their name. Bureaucrat to...
I don't know, I mean, I don't have to, say the name, you can just,
no, I just... Okay, characters. Okay, so his name is Kenzaburo. And so... Oh, Anadol. Sorry. Originally you would play as Anadol, who is this, she is a peasant gal who, because of her great grades and test scores, is allowed to attend this illustrious, nobility, this, magic school that is reserved mainly for the nobility. And, Grace, the woman, the girl who this guy has been reincarnated as, originally was the rival character. She is this, from an outsider, from the initial perspective, she is a very cruel, mean, and spiteful person who belittles poor Anna, and being like, "You do not belong here. You are a disgrace to this very institution," and that sort of thing. And she is actually betrothed to the first prince of the kingdom, but eventually, because this kind fatherly figure is in Grace's mind, Grace unintentionally becomes
Pardon me.
Anna's best friend, essentially. It's like at the very start where Grace is supposed to chew out Anna, she's like, "You arrived here. You are not part of the nobility, but you managed to basically get enough good grades and get your grades good enough to be able to attend here. That means you have very loving parents," or something like that. She ends up befriending Anna, and throughout the series, Grace ends up just failing upwards, essentially, and ends up raising the affections of every male love interest, and Anna her as well, through her actions. It's just funny. So it turns out that we have a coma story. We have a coma situation. The dad is in a coma, and his consciousness is in the game, and his wife and daughter are like witnessing this video game play out on their TV. They can't turn it off. They can't change the channel. It is stuck there. They are unable to watch the latest anime, seasonal anime. But anyway, so they're able to witness the progress in the game, but also they end up able to, at a certain point, indirectly manipulate interact with the game world when Grace gets her familiar, which is where the beast part of Love and Beast comes into play. And I really hope that they get a second season, because apparently there's other characters, and there's like a brother for the daughter who ends up finding more ways to directly interact with the world and communicate with their dad in the game world. But throughout the series, Grace is like trying to find ways of hooking Anna with one of the potential suitors. But his daughter's like, oh my gosh, you keep raising their affections for Grace. I don't know if so they
Dad, you're not supposed to go the Yuri route.
Yeah, actually, there's a cheat code where he calls it the elegance cheat, but basically he's able to translate his regular normal lingo and voice into a more sophisticated aristocratic sounding language. And they jokingly say, what if when Dad gets back, some of that comes back with him, like he suddenly somehow starts talking fancy and stuff. It's like, and they imagine him holding a fan, and it's like, oh, ho, 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 ho. It's so funny. Yeah, this is a very fun. It's a somewhat cozy isekai anime. It's most of the conflict is just dealing with the otome game mechanics. They're the main one of the main problems they come up with is the fact that Grace cannot talk like a peasant. She always talks very sophisticated and elegant, which interferes with a play, which is essentially The Prince and the Pauper. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
Then, with that being
Fun
said,
anime. You can watch it on High Dive, by the way.
Okay, now I believe this is Soul again, the last one.
That's the last one?
Yeah, wait, is this your last one, or?
No, I don't think so. I only did my first one.
Oh, you did? Oh, crap, okay. My bad. Continue.
Okay. So, this one is the wrong way to use healing magic. Although some people would say that the main character is using healing magic the right way. It is an isekai where 3 high school students get teleported to another world and have to participate in a war against the demons, who also might not be as bad as they say, but that's still a developing thing in the story. So the other 2 that got teleported to the the other world, they're basically I think they're part of the student council, and they basically have other abilities. I think one of them gets the power of light, and the other one gets the power of I believe it's fire. I can't remember exactly, but they get elemental powers, and the other guy, who's not part of the student council, he's pretty average. He gets the ability to heal, and apparently this is a big thing in the kingdom and stuff because the captain of the, I guess the healing team, healing team, she basically uses healing magic in a special sort of way, and she ends up basically recruiting him onto her team and teaching him how to use healing magic, which basically revolves around one, increasing your physical strength, because basically she trains him to the point where he basically has to keep healing himself to basically keep going, and this over time increases his strength and stuff like that. And honestly, I like the way how they used it in the anime, where they're basically the heal team goes onto the battlefield, and because they have superhuman strength and speed, they can actually get a lot of the wounded soldiers back to their base to basically heal them and patch up their wounds and stuff like that and have them fight again. And apparently that's actually prevented a lot of deaths in that entire war too.
Nice.
I remember reading the manga a little bit when it first came out, so I thought it was pretty interesting mechanics how they were going about things.
Yeah. That was one of the things I liked about it. I guess the other thing is that I think the guy is pretty relatable. He basically just wants to prove himself, and I kind of feel that from a personal perspective and stuff like that. Wanting
It's
to
the one
actually,
where- It's the one where the main character of the story isn't being treated as a main character, per se. He's being treated as less important than the other kind of protagonists.
yeah, the other two. I mean, I kind of like their whole thing stick too. Like the guy is like kind of getting pretty chummy with the princess and stuff. I like their relationship. It's pretty cute. The girl, I forget her deal, but I know she kind of likes. I know she kind of doesn't want to go back to the real world, to her world and stuff like that, because I guess she felt like she was chained down due to her responsibilities as being a student council president, or being on the student council and being like the popular student, stuff like that, and whatnot. She kind of wanted to like I guess she was felt kind of trapped. So being here is kind of like a godsend for her. I find it kind of funny because in the first episode, the guy the guy on the student council was like, "Hey, could you not like summon us here? Could you send us back?" And I was like, I think that's the first time I've heard somebody actually do that. Where they're like, "Okay, can you send us back? Like, you didn't even have permission to like summon us here."
That's the one thing I kind of do like about the isekai genre, where there's a lot of kind of fun little thing. You stay completely within the bounds of the trope, but there's a lot of little fun things you can do with it.
Yeah.
Alright, well then, let's move on. And, alright, okay, get ready to call me out, because this one is mine.
Okay. Why would anyone call you out?
Wait, you clearly forgot. I said, and I quote, "The one thing that I don't like about Isekai is always the overpowered character."
Oh, you were worried that people will call you out as a hypocrite.
Yes, you. I was thinking you were gonna say,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh,
Hypocrites. Yeah, they're like this weird eagle lion thing.
and I was
Or is that
expecting-
hippogriffs? I keep getting those two mixed up.
Hippogriffs,
based on cast
basically were like the old-time version of when pigs fly. It was basically when griffins mate with horses.
I mean,
That's what a hippogriff is.
I mean, it's just, I was expecting you to be like, "Oh, Kara, you beautiful, awesome, amazing Oni, you told us tall-tailed." Those would have been your words,
People
by
did-
the way.
What if people didn't even
No.
remember that you mentioned that, and they just totally forgot, and you just outed yourself?
No. No. But anywho, further.
I've been currently drinking Junmai sake, so
Hell yeah.
mm,
But anyway, as I was saying, so basically, this fight here is, of course, the OP character, or main character, who gets hot bitches, power fantasy anime. Where you get the main character who was I believe
literally
he-
every girl wants to fuck him.
And
He even gets kidnapped by a bunch of goblins to get goblin women to get fucked.
But anyway, so basically,
Wait, who
he-
is
Jesus.
this again?
Yes.
I might be confusing a different anime.
Yes. But anyway, so as he's, again, the MC, I believe he was actually, playing the game when he, died or something. It's never really stated how he got isekai'd. Maybe it was Truck-kun, maybe it wasn't. But either way,
If I remember right, he was basically invited into the other world without knowing he was being invited into the other world.
Okay. And so as he is, basically, there's this, these boobs. I mean, there's this, beautiful blonde elf who has boobs, and let's see, other characters, and
What is the name of the anime?
Oh, I thought I said it. How not to summon a demon lord.
Oh, okay, no, I was thinking of a different anime then.
But anyway, so basically...
Just be warned, Elf Girl's brother wants to Arkansas her.
I mean, in all fairness...
It's pronounced Arkansas.
I got that
Actually,
reference.
in Arkansas, it is illegal
to...
to make the name Arkansas.
No. So
Which
was making a Dragon Ball The Bridge reference. This is my trucker hat. But anywho. So again, this is again, OP character who's OP as hell, kicks ass, takes names, no one can, beat him.
But
gets
does
hot
he
bitches.
turn into an atomic bomb?
I mean, he does have
We'll
one.
get to that later.
He does have one
Oh yeah,
gigantic,
that's one of your
final
guns.
attack.
You're saying.
And also, he was, I believe, the game developer too, so he knows a thing or two about this game. And honestly, if you're just looking for, some hot,
So he's essentially
waifus...
Keener in the Amazing Digital Circus, except without the "my wife got turned into a abstract."
Why did you give him a
abstract-
southern accent?
I don't fucking know.
What the Anywho...
I think that's more the Junmai than Erica. So,
Yeah.
But anywho. But no, if you just want, hot waifus, action, explosions, and more hot waifus, this is the one to go. It's not anything major. And yes, I know I broke my rule of not liking OP anime, but...
I think you're allowed one guilty pleasure anime.
I mean, also elf boobs. Okay, my weakness is boobs. If that's not obvious.
Oh yeah.
As well as...
I think one of the saving graces on this one is WoW. The OP, who goes by the name Diablo, very, very unique name, by the way. No one's ever used it in the history of names.
Yeah, totally.
There was this superhero isometric superhero video game where they had a fire-based hero called Diablo.
Because of course. But you episode continues.
Well, anyway, yes. One of the saving graces for Kala in this case is the hero, Diablo. While he is incredibly overpowered, at heart, he is a Japanese otaku who is also incredibly insecure and very nervous about things. Well, he's overpowered. Like, the entire persona of Diablo is an act.
There's also, that.
Oh, it's kind of like Overlord, in a way.
Yes. Yeah, they both do it very well. Where it's you have a relatively overpowered MC who's also extremely cautious and kind of afraid that the world's about to screw him over.
But
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
again, that's an anime I highly recommend you go check out. And now this is it you again, Sealed?
It's me.
No,
It's
it's Erica.
It's me,
But
Erica.
before we like go on this one second,
Mhm.
Neo J says that I absolutely enjoy Eminence in the Shadow.
Ah, nice. Nice.
Well, that is a good coincidence there.
A winky dink, as one might say. So, Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi is the first ever isekai that I have actually seen. After I acknowledged that anime was like an actual thing and not like so you know how like 4Kids essentially scrubbed anything Japanese related from their shows,
Yeah,
even to the point of changing the names of characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was the first anime that I acknowledged as after I knew that anime was like a thing. This was the first isekai technically that I saw. So, Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi. Even in the Abenobashi Shopping Arcade, which is a commercial and residential area in Osaka, there is this guy named Sashi who was lamenting about everything from his childhood. He isn't in elementary school, but anyway, everything that he enjoyed and loved and is being destroyed. The shopping arcade is being demolished and being renovated. And why am I talking in this voice? Is because this is in Osaka, and typically, when you are translating a Kansai, specifically Osakan dialect, into English, usually you do a southern drawl. But anyway, let's end that. Anyway, so basically everything is changing for Sashi. Not only that, his childhood friend Asami, I think is her name, her family is moving to Hokkaido, which is literally on the other side of Japan, essentially. And yeah, hold on, let me actually look at their names up. Magical Shopping, Magical Arcade.
So this is a Studio Gainax show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is
a very ecchi anime.
Well, I wouldn't call it very ecchi.
Arumi
It definitely.
and Sashi. Her name's Arumi. So basically, Arumi's grandpa, who's like really insistent that they do not leave, they do not sell the Pelican Grill because it's going to be demolished. Is very adamant, but he ends up falling basically is hospitalized. And so as they discover that there are these 4 statues representing the 4 gods of Chinese mythology. The pelican, which represented the bird, it was the last one, and it was destroyed when Arumi's grandpa fell off of the fucking roof. And so one evening, Sashi sees a dragon flying. And then as they're at the temple, him and Arumi are at the temple grounds, they discover all this like elderly group that are like doing morning exercises have turned into mushrooms. They run around and then discover that the shopping arcade has turned into cardboard, and they discover they have been sent to another world, a sword and sorcerer world. Eventually, they go through various other worlds. They go to a science fiction world, a war world, fantasy, dating sim, Hong Kong, Chinese martial arts film world, dinosaur world, and eventually it's discovered that each world in the alternate version of the Abenobashi arcade is a manifestation of Sashi's otaku escapisms. And eventually they discover that there's also another connection between Sashi and Arumi's grandpa and stuff with this Heian era sorcerer. Well, basically, he there's like this noble and his wife called Mune, or no, her name was Mune, and basically he was supposed to Same was supposed to guard this noble's wife, but they ended up falling in love. The noble learned of the affair, overcome with grief, killed Mune, and then committed seppuku. And then Sai basically did a forbidden art in order to reincarnate everyone into a different dimension. And then he found himself as a very wealthy businessman in modern-ish day Japan, specifically Osaka. And Mune was reincarnated. The noble was reincarnated as Arumi's grandpa. And basically, he's like, okay, they're alive. I can fix this. I'm gonna basically develop this shopping arcade and stuff. And but then Mune was like, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful. I love you. Basically to the reincarnated magician guy, Eudes. I think his name is Eudes. And they basically had sex, and then Arumi's grandpa basically was fucking jealous because he was like, I wanted to marry Mune, and so he essentially the Eudes realized, oh fuck, I almost fucked up again. I'm just gonna leave. And eventually, the pregnant Mune gave birth to Sashi's dad, essentially. So so that's why in each world of shopping arcade, there's also Mune and Eudes. Mune is always trying to find Eudes. Mune is this very busty and very bubbly redheaded lady who...
Also, to punch real quick, Neil J says, have any of you watched Not Allowed in Another World? And I have not.
Mm-hmm. I have seen a synopsis of that. So eventually it is revealed that the reason why they keep... So at the end of each episode, they find a goblin who's like, okay, I'll send you back to your own world. And then they do the spell, and they end up being in another world based off of Sashi's otaku escapisms. The reason is Sashi does not want to face reality. He essentially wants to find a world where everything is good, where everyone is alive, the Abenobashi Sharping Arcade is not being torn down, and also Arumi's grandpa isn't dead because he actually dies when he falls off of the roof. That's actually what ends up happening. But eventually, I've only started recently rewatching it, but I think eventually Sashi eventually accepts that things are changing, and they eventually are able to go back to back home. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was a bit chaotic, but yeah.
Yes, and oh wait, I thought I deleted. Crap! I could have sworn I deleted this.
Yeah, and so yeah. It is an ecchi series. There's a lot of actually, you know the episode of Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt where the ghost steals Panty's panties?
Mm-hmm.
That is and wears it on its head? That is a reference to the 3rd episode of Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi, where the goblin steals Arumi's panties, and like that is like the secondary like goal. And she's like, "Oh my god, he stole my panties!" And he's like, "Wait, those are your panties?" And I'm like, no, those aren't my panties. But also, don't burn them. Don't destroy them." And it's just like, okay, what? And then they're in like a giant robot, and Arumi is like above
She's
him,
trying
and he's
to
like,
hide the fact that she's going commando right now.
yeah, and it's like, wait, okay, so what do we? And then she just slaps him, and he's like, wait, why? Why are you doing that? And it's like, I'm not wearing any panties. And he's like, wait, are those your panties? And she's like, no. Eventually, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I like Mure and everyone. It is a crazy series. You should all watch it somehow. Find a way to watch it. I don't fucking know where it is. It might be on Crunchyroll. It might not even be anywhere. Nobody might have the distribution rights to it. You might have to go to a third-party site. I don't fucking know.
Oh no!
It's a fucking good anime though. Definitely a good ecchi series.
Right. Excellent. Now it's your turn.
My turn again. Okay, so this one is Overly Cautious Hero. It's I'm gonna be honest, it's very self-explanatory. When I first watched this, I was not really sure about it because it kind of looked like one of those really generic isekai animes. But I was gonna watch it anyway just to see how it is. And I think one of the things I was surprised by was that they I believe it was the opening, because the opening has a song from, I think, Mythenroid. Yeah, if you're familiar with those two, they did some of the openings and endings for ReZero. And the main thing with the Overly Cautious Hero is that he basically is like one of those. He's basically like any gamer that's doing an RPG. You want to make sure you got everything to go. Like, you got every equipment, all the potions you can get, every ability you can probably find, and stuff like that.
Isn't he also like overpowered?
Yeah, he's overpowered because he's overly prepared. yeah, he basically like in the picture here, he'll take out a slime and like kill it 20 times over just because I want to make sure it's dead and completely dead. And then it doesn't like.
Always be prepared. 57 years ago.
Okay, so let's continue.
So that's kind of his thing. He basically is so overly prepared. He basically just goes to the extreme of like just having so many like setups, backups, and like just all out, just hitting the opponent with his strongest attack first. Even though, you probably say that's not really necessary, but he thinks it's necessary. And there is a reason why he is like this in the first place. But I won't spoil that fact. But it's it's very interesting. And also it's just really hilarious, especially with the goddess and stuff like that. I feel like the goddess is like, or not even just the goddess. I think this whole anime kind of reminds me of just Konosuba in a way, because of the goddess's reactions half the time. There's also that one clip where she's like admiring the hero's abs.
Ooh, six pack.
And also, oh yeah, I forgot Konosuba. That's another anime that should also be watched because it's awesome.
We got overly masochistic paladin lady. We got drunk
goddess.
Drunkard goddess priestess lady, and we have Chunibyo. And we got Perverted Panty Stealer.
But yes, anywho, is that all select?
Wait a minute, I didn't know Kala was in Konosuba.
No, I was talking about Aqua.
No, she meant
I
the masochist
literally
one.
attribute her as a Yotadere.
But anyway,
I mean, she's literal artwork of Aqua is literally in my Yotadere folder.
Also, is that all select?
Oh, well, it's just the fact that this anime is just. I wasn't expecting it to be as funny as it was. Because, like, as soon as I started watching the first episode, I was really hooked on the comedy and stuff like that. And yeah, I can't express enough how funny this series is. It's hilarious, and just like how weirdly, serious it got by the end, and just it all just kind of makes sense, you know. Because, man, I really did go into this anime thinking that it was going to be a big deal, but then ended up just, like, really enjoying it a lot more than I thought it would.
Alright, now then, it is time for another controversial, or rather, non-controversial, Isekai anime, that being The Rising of the Shield Hero. Dun, dun, dun. Now, just to get the BS out of the way, the non-controversy was basically idiots, I don't know how to say it, well, to be fair, we're not monetized. This bitch decided it'd be a great idea to say fucking Naofumi Ember hurted her, and it was a complete total lie. She's a lying, pathetic bitch because she's nothing more but just that. To the point where Naofumi and everyone had the opportunity to be rid of this worthless, obnoxious bitch, but Naofumi decided no, we should at least let her live, but have the title of bitch. And I think the king's new name is the Bastard or whatever. But either way, it's a title that suits her, because she cannot tell the truth to save her life. Literally. But anywho, so...
There actually is a reason for it, but I won't spoil what that is.
Yeah, a lot of the controversy with this series basically involves the fact that one of the first main storylines involves sexual assault, or at least false reporting of sexual assault, and slavery.
Yeah. But anywho, so basically you got Naofumi, who was summoned along with the other 4 heroes. He is the shield hero, there's the spear hero, who's a complete idiot, there's the sword hero, and then there's the bow hero. The entire shtick is to take care of waves that happen ever so often, that do, destruction shit. And it turns out that there's other waves and other dimensions and worlds alike, but they do interact with some of the characters from other places. And so Naofumi, who was basically stabbed in the back, again, he got Amber Hearded by a worthless, obnoxious bitch who I hope in the manga does get killed off, because fuck this bitch. Good god, is she useless and annoying. But, anywho, so Naofumi, the main character, has no choice but to purchase a slave. And of course, there's this raccoon girl by the name of Rafteria. He heals her, and he has to play this, I guess you could say, code. He has to act like he's mean and doesn't give a shit. But it's only because of all the shit that has happened, because once the princess, who was again a bitch, said that he did things to her, well, everyone turned against him and treated him as if he had the plague. So he's kind of forced to work at the bottom and work his way to the top, so he had no choice but to get, Rafteria from slavery, and later he got a chicken egg, aka a chocobo, because let's be real, that's exactly what, Fido is. And as well as a lot of other characters, and honestly, it started off strong. Like, the first season was really good because he was down on his luck. He had to work all the way from the bottom to the top, and it started off decent. But the Tortoise arc was known as the worst arc for multitude of reasons. And I'm not going to say anything about the animation because honestly, I don't really like when, people talk about the animation in anime due to the fact that I know what, animators go through in Japan. So, yeah, I can't say anything with good faith, if you will. But
I did want to mention that in the manga, yeah, it was kind of well. The thing about the anime is that there's a couple things that they kind of didn't do right compared to like the manga, or I guess the light novel probably, because there's some information that wasn't relayed, and it kind of felt like the anime was kind of like trying to move us along past it and stuff like that. Which I want to be honest, I don't blame the anime for doing that because when I was reading the manga, I literally stopped at like the manga literally stopped at the turtle arc, and I was like, I really want to get past the turtle arc. I think we stayed here long enough.
yeah,
So,
that's the other
yeah.
thing too. The pacing was slow as hell, and fans were like, "Man, I really, really don't like this." But thankfully now, and I mean, I'll be honest with you, it seems that the anime as a whole, the hype and everything, at least here in the West, it isn't really, I guess you could say, hyped up. No one's really talking about it, as far as I can tell. Like, again, that first week, because of the bullshit, it was all over the place. But now it seems like, the haters, the tourists, and thankfully they have forgotten this. So, I don't know if it's still good or what. Well, again, the fandom anyway. But other than that, though, it's still a pretty good show, and it seems that we all are getting somewhere that isn't the damn, again, the Tortoise Arc 2.0, if you will. And not only that, but though, it's good to see, again, a character starting from the ground up, instead of being just, oh, here's some bullshit power for you right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I also want to say that to anybody that still, is interested in watching Shield Hero, just keep going. I swear that if you get past the turtle arc, it gets a lot better. I swear.
Not going to lie, Shield Hero got a little bit boring after yeah, it is because of the Tortoise arc, and I'll be honest with you, look up YouTubers like Naturally to, get basically the general information you need on the Tortoise arc and just jump over it, because, again, a lot of people, it just didn't do well with that arc. But anyway, now it's time for the last one, an episode. It is now time. Wait, hold on, what's this? But let's be honest, I don't think any other show will ever get as much hate as the Sword Art Online. The way they talk about the show, you'd think they got the Sasuke treatment. And all in fairness, I haven't really watched Sword Art Online, so I have seen idiots say some things, like, some of the scenes, but I don't really have a horse in this race. No, episode, that's not a pun.
What? Why are we talking about horses?
Uh,
Is everyone playing Uma now?
What?
Tachyon is
But-
Bay.
But
Tachyon is Bay, yes. But anyway, yes, Eminence in Shadow. So this is another one of the ones where your main character is very overpowered. In this case, though, he's kind of earned it. And well, anyway, the main character starts out life in the real world. He's under his ambition in life, his greatest desire is to basically become the Eminence and Shadow, or basically the hidden power, where the protagonists get to the final boss, and then it's like, no, it's not the final boss. I am the power that's been manipulating the whole thing. Yeah, it's Erica's reaction is a good one for this entire show. So anyway, he trains and he trains and he trains, but he comes to the realization that no matter how much he trains, he's not going to survive a special forces team or a nuclear weapon. So he starts looking for magic. One of the things that I think the manga did very well was back when he was in school, he was all thinking about how his whole thought process is no one knows everything I've been doing to train. And you have this guy who's built like he can bench press a truck sitting there in like the standard school outfit that's like barely containing him. And he's thinking, I'm just as everyone thinks he's average, but everyone's like kind of giving him the side eye.
It's like, I am an NPC.
I am completely inconspicuous. Bro, you look like you could fight Mike Tyson and win.
You could, when you try to eat Mike Tyson's ear, you end up accidentally biting off half his face.
Oh, Mike Tyson in Soviet Russia. Mike Tyson eats your ear. No, but
No, that was a thing Mike Tyson did like one time.
Yes. But anyway, he in his attempts to learn how to do magic through a combination of fasting and I think some mushrooms he found growing on the forest floor, he basically hallucinates the light and runs to the light, and the light is our good friend Truck-kun.
Yeah.
He then reincarnates as a son of a minor noble in another world where he has access to magic and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he proceeds to create his secret society. Now that he has magic, he proceeds to exploit the ever-loving hell out of it and uses his knowledge to create his secret society that he so desired.
Because we live in a society.
A secret society at that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fun... While he sees himself definitely as an NPC, he wants his public persona is that of basically an NPC. He's very nondescript. He tries very hard not to get noticed, although he gets noticed quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And he generally just wants to be ignored, overlooked, and all that stuff. And then, however, there is another secret evil society also lurking in the shadows. And the two secret societies are clashing along with the public royal guards and all that.
He initially just makes it up, and then it ends up like being like created and birthed into existence. He's like, oh, it's the cult of Diable. And then they're like, oh my gosh, you were right about the cult. And he's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
You were right about everything all along. Of course I was. Wait, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
They're just going along to humor me.
Yeah. And then, oh, there is a cult. Okay.
And it's the type of thing where where they're looking for the enemy's hidden base, and he just like at random throws a dagger at the map, and he's like, there, and he's just like this. He just randomly does this. There's no plan. There's no thought, and it somehow hits a location where everyone's like, wait a minute, this makes sense. We overlooked it. We thought this place was just like a storehouse or something.
I really love when like he just spends most of his time, like after like classes to essentially create a a place where one of his subordinates will find him, and he's like in a chair, like a big chair, and he's like, so you've arrived after I have
Yes.
summoned you.
Like,
It's like-
there's definitely a whole scene where he spends like a good half hour arranging his room. So when the subordinate walks in, that he's all dark and mysterious and stuff. He is just, yeah. He's all the main characters in this series are fun. His overpoweredness isn't kind of in your face with it. Well, it kind of is, but it's in a fun way. It's just. Yeah. I don't think there's a single character in this show that I actively really dislike.
I actually I actually don't really like the main character too much. Maybe it might be because of how the anime portrays him, but I guess I just never liked the fact that a lot of the problems he causes aren't like he's not aware of these problems and stuff like that. And
he's like does not.
He is oblivious of this all hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I blame the anime for how it sets the mood for certain things because like legit people like get hurt in certain ways and stuff like that, and he just like kind of just goes about his business, and I'm just like, I'm not sure I like
real
that
to him.
Yeah,
it's not real to him.
I think that's the part that bothers me.
Yeah.
But alright then. Well, sadly, ladies and gentlemen,
You can actually watch Eminence Shadow on High Dive, which is essentially a streaming platform owned by Sentai Filmworks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, that was all of the time we have in. Honestly, I hope you all enjoyed. Now, in conclusion, Isekai has been around way past anime itself again. Alice in Wonderland,
The Chronicles of Narnia,
Narnia,
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it has been a thing since writing was the thing. And honestly, I do enjoy when creators, at least when they put in effort. The main reason why I hate the whole overpowered
I guess
main
Gulliver Travels
character-
would technically be considered an isekai, right?
Yeah. The reason why I hate the whole overpowered main character is because it's a dime a dozen, and it really doesn't add anything to the manga / graphic novel / anime. It's just
But then you have an overpowered character who is a Shota. And it's not technically an isekai because he's reincarnated in the same world.
A Shotakai?
Shotokan. Shota. I was reborn as the 7th prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability.
But anywho. Now, with that being said, though, do you guys have any in conclusions?
I was gonna.
there's-
Knowledge.
Go ahead.
Well, you guys can go first. I was just gonna say to check the comments before we wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, to what Neo Jay's saying, yeah. Delta is a hilarious character. She's very over the top and all. But yeah, I like all the characters there. None of, even the ones that take themselves seriously, they're all very well done. No one's just like, God, this character is annoying. Can you hurry up and go die? Unless it's quite clearly the purpose of this character is they're going to go die soon.
Yeah, I mean, while I don't completely like hate the main character, I just dislike certain things about him, but I think he's all right for the most part, and he
is very self-absorbed,
Yeah.
and you could argue that that's definitely his character flaw per se, where he's so wrapped up in himself he can't see what's going on under his nose.
Yeah.
Alright,
So-
well then, Erica, do you have a final conclusion?
No, this particular episode of the podcast series is over. Let's go eat some curry or something.
Alright, bye!
Mm-hmm. Bye bye.
Later.
I